Much of the workflow in Blender is driven by the use of keyboard shortcuts, or hotkeys. To go along with these tutorials, I've put together a sheet that lists some of the most useful hotkeys for beginners. You'll want to try to make a lot of them second nature to you, but there's no shame in having to look at the sheet. That's what it's there for. It is important to remember that hotkeys do different things depending on which window your mouse is hovering over when you press them. For example, if I have my mouse hovered over the 3D view and I press the hotkey S, I begin to scale my selection. But if I have my mouse hovering over the timeline and I press S, I change the start time of my animation. Two very different things. So when following along with these tutorials, be sure to keep your mouse hovering over the appropriate window before pressing the hotkey, otherwise some of the hotkeys will not work as expected. Hotkeys are very important in Blender, and just like the user interface, they can be customized. If you go to File, User Preferences, and come over to the Input tab, you can see a full list of all the hotkeys. They're categorized into the different sections, so let's say the 3D view, and then Object Mode. Now we can see a full list of all the hotkeys and all the functions. This menu is useful for looking up which hotkeys do what, but it's primarily here because it lets you change which hotkeys do what. Every one of these entries on the list here can be changed and customized to the way you like it. Just remember, if you're going to change one of these things, make sure you hit the Save as Default button before you're done. Otherwise, your changes will be lost the next time you launch Blender. I keep mine at the default, and I suggest that you do too. Here's another cool trick with hotkeys. If you can remember what it is that you want to do, but you can't remember what the hotkey is, you can press the spacebar, and it brings up a search menu, so you can then type out what you want to do. So in this case, if I want to duplicate this cube, I can start typing in duplicate, and I bring up all the duplicate type options, and I come down to duplicate objects, and you can see what the hotkey for it is. In this case, it's Shift D. And I can either press Shift D or I can click on that entry, and now I've duplicated my object. So hotkeys are very important to memorize in Blender because they're such a big part of the workflow. Use the sheet as much as you need to, but if you can, memorize the more important ones.